OIII Mining is an Osisko Group of companies. OIII Mining is the third iteration of the Osisko Group of companies. We have been working for a year and we have been able to accomplish many things that we want to share with you. We have been able to add 5.9 million ounces of gold to our portfolio, very valuable ounces. And we have been able to demonstrate the value of these ounces by doing the PEA for one of our projects called Marban. We have shown now $423 million in terms of net present value with an internal rate of return of 25.2%. We have been able to assemble a very prospective ground. We have assembled these properties in Val-d'Or, an area where, of course, there is a lot of infrastructure, where we have a lot of possibilities to keep growing, where we have hydropower, where we have roads, where we have railroads, and more important, where we have the talent of very, very good engineers, geologists, and technical personnel. We are as well very well funded with $61 million. So again, OIII Mining is a company that has been able to accomplish within 12 months many things, and we are really working towards the next 12 months on which we are going to be delivering to our shareholders value through the drill bit. Our corporate structure is quite simple. We have Osisko Mining with a 31.1%. Management holds 6%, which is something very unique in these sort of stories. For a junior company our side, it's also very unique to have the quality of the analysts that are covering our story, from big banks to smaller boutiques, and we are extremely happy with where we are. Today, we have an average target price of $5 when we are really trading now at around $2.50. We have right now an enterprise value of around $100 million. And certainly, in terms of dollar per ounce, from an EV to dollar per ounce, we're trading at $14, which give us still quite a bit of space to grow to the average, just the average of $79 per ounce. To this point, it is very important to talk about our most important project, which is Marban. What is Marban? Marban is a fantastic project located in Val-d'Or, where we have been able to work in the last 12 months. We have been able to move from 1.8 million ounces to 2.5 million ounces in terms of resources. Once again, we have been able to put out a press release with a PEA with a $423 million in terms of net present value at a $1,450 per ounce with an internal rate of return of 25.2%. Marban still has a lot of possibilities in the surroundings in order to do more exploration, in order to improve the base case of this PEA, which is already showing us that there is fundamental value which shows 4 times our enterprise value. Remember, we mentioned before we were worth $100 million in terms of enterprise value. We're showing right now that in terms of net present value, we are worth 423, which equates to 4 times the current market cap. And of course, in the case of Marban, we are also surrounded by other gold companies of very good quality, such as Wesdome and Canadian Malartic. And as we progress this project, and we want to put it into production, our goal is to be a mining house. Will be very interesting to see the appetite of other competitors for good quality of assets. Our PEA is a very robust PEA. Our PEA was done by Osisko, which is an extraordinary engineering firm. Osisko has worked in one of the most important projects here in Canada, and they had very fresh numbers to be able to provide to us, and that's why we feel very comfortable with this. To the point we were talking before of $100 million in terms of enterprise value, we see here the base case scenario for $423 million in terms of net present value. We should note as well that for gold price, where the banks are talking about a long-term gold price of $2,000, we could be trading. We are right now at today's prices. We have fundamental value for 8 times to 9 times the current enterprise value. The profile that we will see in our that we have seen in our preliminary economic assessment moving towards production will be an average production of 115,000 ounces of gold, although we see here in our graph that we move up to 161,000 ounces of gold. And for sure, we have the opportunity to improve these metrics by adding into exploration, but also by adding resources towards the pre-feas. We are going to be discussing now each of the metrics to give you the confidence of the work that has been done with Osisko. In order to do that, we are talking about right now an all-in sustaining cost of $822, which gives us quite interesting margin of over $1,000, $128 per ounce. Capital structure, which for a project producing 115,000 ounces of gold, it costs us less than $260 million Canadian. And it's also important to talk about the profitability metrics, which means that for every dollar that we invest, we will be increasing the value of $1.7, or for every million, $1.7 million. We are also part of a very selective group of companies where we are in a very special group because we are in Val-d'Or. So in terms of jurisdiction, we are a very attractive jurisdiction. We are over the 75th percentile. In terms of profitability, we make it to a very selective group of companies. We keep moving here, and it's very important to talk about the exploration and the alternatives to increase the resources here in Marban is extremely important. We see a very clear path to grow the exploration, specifically in the north areas. You can see it in the red circle. It is very clear where we can grow. Very important to mention, Marban has over $60 million already been invested at Marban. There has been over 600,000 meters of drilling being done already at Marban. So what we really see here is the opportunity to move from an exploration company to a developer company, which means at the same time that now the ounces that we are going to find outside of the PEA, now with a pinpoint of $423 million, will be at $180 per ounce. Now, as of today, and as of right now, what we have spoken is about only Marban. And really only Marban for an investor and for the possibility of a new investor coming in really could give the opportunity of making 3 times the investment on a fundamental basis standpoint of view. But on top of that, we also have the possibility of a blue sky with Garrison, where we already have 2 million ounces in Timmins, and also in the case of Alpha, where we can grow the resources very fast, and for which we already have bought an option to buy a mill for $5 million at any time within 6 years. Very important to mention about the subsite, we are going to be allocating 100,000 meters of drilling to Alpha. Why? To expand resources and also to find new discoveries. In the case of Malartic, we are assigning 45,000 meters, again, to increase the resources and hopefully to find a new target. What we have done in Alpha, it's really amazing. We have been able to use artificial intelligence. Over 30 targets has been identified. And the most important thing here is we have been able to confirm, first of all, the areas where we had drilling, but also, and more important, we have been able to identify new areas where there was not even drilling. So this really gives us an extraordinary opportunity to grow in terms not only of the areas that we already know, but to have new discoveries, which is what we all want to see as an exploration company moving towards development, as we are in OIII. We plan to grow here at depth in the areas where we already have resources, and that is an advantage that we have here in the case of Alpha. We have the advantage as well of having already 2 million ounces in a very prospective ground in Timmins. So the next steps are very clear. We're going to move 2 drill rigs in the third quarter, moving to 5 drill rigs in the fourth quarter of this year. Starting winter, we're going to have 10 drill rigs, so be prepared. We're going to have a lot of information coming into the market, and hopefully all of them being very good. And then in the second quarter, we'll have 6 drill rigs. So where we are as of today, we have been able to deliver to the market within 12 months, once again, a PEA which is 3 times our market cap, built a great portfolio with 5.9 million ounces, built a great area for exploration, a very endowed area such as Val-d'Or with 30 million ounces already been produced in Val-d'Or, with great infrastructure and with the possibility of raising money through flow-through. We have been divesting assets and making cash out of those assets. And also, what are the next steps? The next steps is we're moving on the permitting for Marwan. We are moving towards pre-feas. We're doing 45,000 meters of exploration, which I'm sure we're going to have success there. We're going to have 6 months. In 6 months, we're going to have the PEA for Garrison, and we'll continue to expand the resources at Alpha. My name is Jose Vizquerra. I am the CEO for OIII Mining. Welcome to OIII. Keep following us. This is a great story to be followed. Thank you.